Good morning, students. This is N. Gopi Krishna, lecturer in mathematics from K&HL Degree College, Eluru. This is for final BSc AKNU 5th semester students only, mathematics class. That is the paper. I have already told you that paper 5 and paper 6 are there in mathematics for the 5th semester. We have both two papers are there for mathematics in the 5th semester. That is paper 5 is ring theory and vector calculus, and the paper 6 is linear algebra. That means in this also we have 5 units, and the model paper is same as for the paper 5. I have already explained you, and now I am showing the syllabus and model paper for you. Now that is a unit 1 and also the further one also. Now, okay, in this linear algebra also, this is for paper 6. Title is linear algebra. We have 5 units. Unit 1 is vector spaces 1. Unit 2 is vector spaces 2. Unit 3 is linear transformations. Unit 4 is matrix. Unit 5 is inner product space. Okay. If you observe that this is completely a theoretical derivability is also there in this one. It is a theoretical paper also, and this in this matrix only we got some problems. It is a very small unit. The 4th unit is a small unit, and 5th unit is if you understand, it is very well easy and very easy to understand that. And if you observe that the unit 1, 2 and 3 are the same interlinked syllabuses. That means linear transform vector spaces. The total topic is vector spaces. It may be divided into 2 titles, vector spaces 1, 2, and also another title is linear transformation. All these 3 units are from the are interlinked and from the same one. And the 4th thing is a matrix, which is different one, but it is also linked with the vector spaces, and inner product space is also similar like that. That's why we have 5 units, and the model paper is like the same as on the paper 5. That is time 3 hours is there. The external marks are 75 marks, and the internal marks, internal assessment is for 25 marks. So for the external for 75 marks, there are 2 sections. There are 2 sections. In the section A, we have 8 short answer questions will be given, and we have to write only 5 questions in that one. Each question carries 5 marks. That means 5 5s are 25. So we go to the next section, section B. Each and every section, each and every question is from the unit 1. That means from each and every unit, we got only one essay question with internal choice. That is 9th question is from 9A or 9B. This is internal choice is there. 9th question, total 9th question is came from the unit 1, and 10th question is from unit 2, and 11th question is also with internal choice from unit 3, and 12th from unit 4, and 13th from unit 5. All these are with internal choice, and each question carries 10 marks. The 5 10s are 50. The short answer questions are 25. The total 75 marks are there. So students, all of you want to understand it first. What is the syllabus is going on? You have to regularly follow these classes because it is a theory paper. That's why all of you want to follow regularly to these classes. Okay, students. Now we are going to the unit 1. That is vector spaces 1. This is paper 6 of final BSc for the 5th semester of AKNU for the academic year 2020-21. Okay. The paper title is linear algebra. Now we are discussing the unit 1, that is vector spaces 1. There is a title is there, vector space. First of all, we will learn the definition of vector space. What is the definition of vector space? A non-empty set of vectors V over the field F of scalars with respect to vector addition and scalar multiplication dot is called vector space if it satisfies the following conditions. That means here is a non-empty set V of vectors. V contains only vectors. V is a non-empty set, contains only vectors, and F is a field. F is a field. We have earlier learned the definition of the field in the ring theory. Field of scalars. F contains only scalars. And we are here, we are in the ring theory, like that ring theory, we have additions, multiplication operations are there. But here, vector addition and scalar multiplication is there. And multiplication is applicable for scalars only, and addition is applicable for vectors. With these two operations, the set V of vectors, a non-empty set V of vectors over the field F of scalars is said to be vector space if it satisfies the following conditions. What is V plus is abelian group? We know that abelian group, that means it must be satisfied 5 laws, that is closure law, associative law, identity law, inverse law, abelian law. For V only, V contains only vectors. Vector addition is there. With plus, only abelian group must be satisfied. The second one is scalar multiplication exists in V. That means scalar multiplication must be exist in V. If it here and 3, 4, 5, 6 bits are there, if V satisfies all these 6 bits, then V is said to be vector space over the field F. We simply write as, if we go to the last line, we simply write as V of F. I simply say that V of F is vector space. Here, all the vectors are denoted with alpha, beta, gamma, xi, phi, like that. And the scalars are generally denoted here. I denote in my paper is that A, B, C, that is alphabets. All alphabets denote scalars, and alpha, all Romans are alpha, beta, gamma, xi, phi. All these are belongs to vector set. Okay, for easily understanding, I am clearly mentioning that alpha, beta, gamma, xi, phi, whatever it may be the symbols, like symbols are used as vectors in this complete unit. And for scalars, I am using alphabets, that is small letters, that is A, B, C, D, E, F. All these are scalars. Okay, are you understanding that? Okay, right. What is the first bit? V plus is abelian group. V plus is abelian group means it satisfies the closure law. V contains only vectors. I have already mentioned you that vectors are in the form of alpha, beta, gamma. Is that right? So I am using that alpha, beta. Alpha, comma, beta belongs to V. V contains only vectors. That means in V only alpha, beta, gammas are there. That's why alpha, comma, beta belongs to V. That implies alpha plus beta must be in V. Because operation is addition, vector addition is two vectors, alpha, beta are vectors. These two vectors addition is also in V, then the closure law exists with respect to plus in V. The second one is associative law. Generally, you know that we are taking 3 elements in associative law. That's why I am also here taking 3 vectors, because all the elements are in V in this condition. So for 3 vectors, alpha, comma, beta, comma, gamma in V. For any 3 vectors, alpha, beta, gamma in V. That implies alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to alpha plus beta plus gamma. This is LHS is equal to RHS condition. If this condition satisfies for any 3 elements alpha, beta, gamma in V, then we say that associative law exists in V with respect to plus. The third one is identity law. For this identity law, we have to take only one element in V. That is, for alpha belongs to V, there exists an element 0 bar, because we generally denote with addition, that means additive identity with 0. But here V contains only vectors. So I am denoting this 0 vector as 0 bar. By mentioning bar on that one, 0 bar belongs to V such that alpha plus 0 bar is equal to alpha is equal to 0 bar plus alpha. This condition, this is identity law. 0 bar is set to identity vector in V. The fourth one is inverse law. For alpha belongs to V, there exists minus alpha belongs to V such that alpha plus minus alpha is equal to 0 bar. 0 bar is the identity vector, is equal to minus alpha plus alpha. Alpha minus alpha, by adding alpha with minus alpha, we are getting identity element, identity vector. That's why this minus alpha is said to be identity. Sorry, this minus alpha is called inverse of alpha. Therefore, this is total law is called inverse law. The fifth one is abelian law. For the abelian law, we all know that we are taking two elements. For here also, for this V plus abelian group also, we are taking two vectors in V, that is alpha and beta. For alpha comma, for any two elements alpha comma beta belongs to V, that implies alpha plus beta is equal to beta plus alpha. If LHS is equal to RHS condition is also satisfies with any two elements of V, alpha beta in V, then we say that abelian law exists in V. That means V with respect to plus satisfying these five laws means that V plus is said to be abelian group. And the scalar multiplication. What is scalar multiplication? We have to take one scalar and one vector. One scalar and one vector. All scalars are in F. Are you understanding that? All scalars are in F. F is field. Scalars are denoted with alphabets A, B, C, D, E. Whereas vectors are denoted with alpha, beta, gamma, xi, phi. Is it right? All vectors in V, all scalars in F. F is field. Okay? Right. We have to take one scalar and one vector for the existence of scalar multiplication. That is, I am taking one vector alpha belongs to V and A, one scalar A belongs to F. One vector, one scalar. Scalars are in F, vectors are in V. Alpha is vector, A is scalar. Then that implies A into alpha, scalar into vector. Multiplication is only applicable for scalars and or scalar into vector. A dot alpha, the total A dot alpha result is also in V. Then we say that scalar multiplication of a vector is exist in V. Vector is multiplied with scalar A. Vector alpha is multiplied with scalar A. If the result is total result is in V, then we say that scalar multiplication exists in V. Third bit. For alpha comma beta belongs to V. For two vectors alpha comma beta belongs to V and single scalar A belongs to F. A into alpha plus beta is equal to A alpha plus A beta. Fourth bit. For alpha belongs to V, single vector and two scalars A comma B in F. A plus B into alpha is equal to A alpha plus B alpha. Fifth one. For alpha belongs to V and A comma B belongs to F. A into B alpha is equal to AB into alpha. The sixth one, for alpha belongs to V, alpha is a vector in V, and 1 is a scalar in F, 1 belongs to F. Then 1 into alpha is equal to alpha. If V satisfying these six laws, six conditions, then V is said to be vector space over the field F. That means V of F is vector space. We simply write as V of F is vector space. This is the definition of the vector space. All the students must aware about the vector space definition. It will be used throughout the syllabus, throughout the paper. So everybody must learn this vector space definition, and every student must write the notes regularly. I am mentioning each and every time, write the notes. Now we are going to the next definition, that is definition of subspace of a vector space. Subspace of a vector space. A non-empty subset W, a non-empty subset W of vector space V. If we take any subset W which is non-empty in a V, that is vector space, over the same field F, over the same field F of scalars, with respect to vector addition and scalar multiplication, is called subspace of V if W is itself is vector space. That means if we take any, please look at me. Don't watch the screen. Please look at me, my window. Look at me. We are taking in a vector space a small subspace, subset. First of all, we are taking a small subset. This is a vector space, a small subset in that vector space. If this small subset is also in this vector space, is also vector space, then we say that W is subspace. We are taking that a small subset in vector space. If small subset is also vector space, then small subset is called subspace of the vector space. That is simple definition. We simply write as, look at the screen, we simply, and follow the cursor, we simply write as W of F is subspace of vector space VF. Theorem 1. If W is non-empty subset of vector space VF, this is very important theorem, students. If W is non-empty subset of vector space V over the field F, then W is subspace of V if and only if A alpha plus B beta belongs to W for all alpha comma beta belongs to W and A comma B belongs to F. W is also containing vectors. F contains only scalars. That's why alpha beta are taken in W. If W is non-empty subset, then we have to prove necessary and sufficient condition theorem. Left is W subspace of V, right is A alpha plus B beta belongs to W, whereas alpha beta in W. A, B are scalars, it's very common. Right. Now we prove this theorem from first necessary condition, that is, we take left and we prove right. Next we prove that sufficient condition, that is, we take right and goes to prove left. Okay, students? The common portion is W is non-empty subset of vector space. Are you understanding that? Okay, right, students? Now, given W is non-empty subset of vector space VF, this is the common for necessary and sufficient conditions. That's why I have written it. This theorem is in 2 pages. That's why this is the page 1 of the, this proof is page 1 of the first theorem. Total 2 pages. This is the first page. What is necessary condition? For necessary condition, we have to take left and we have to prove right. First, we have to take, we are taking left. What is left? Suppose W is subspace of V. You can see in the necessary condition, suppose W is subspace of V. We want to prove the right side. What is that? A alpha plus B beta belongs to W for all alpha comma beta belongs to W and A comma B are scalars in F. Okay? Right. We prove A alpha plus B beta belongs to W. When for taking alpha beta in W and A comma B belongs to F. For this proof, I am taking that for alpha comma beta belongs to W and A comma B are scalars in F. Okay, right? A is a scalar, alpha is a vector. We know that scalar W is subspace. W is subspace. Subspace means itself is a vector space. Vector space means scalar multiplication exists. If you go to the definition, scalar multiplication exists in V, in vector space definition, scalar multiplication exists. That means one scalar into one vector must be in W. Similarly, one scalar B into one vector beta, the B dot beta belongs to W because scalar multiplication in W. A alpha is in W, B beta is in W, W is vector space. What is vector space? If V is a vector space, V plus abelian group. Similarly, W is a vector space, W plus is abelian group. What is the definition of abelian group? Closure law, associative law, identity law, inverse law, abelian law. Okay. So I am using this closure law with respect to addition. A alpha is in W, B beta is in W. By closure law in W, A alpha plus B beta belongs to W. By the vector addition in W. Okay, right? What do we? The theorem is over. Necessary condition part is over. You observe that A alpha plus B beta belongs to W. What we want to prove is A alpha plus B beta belongs to W. We have proven it. The necessary condition is over. Now we are going to the sufficient condition. What is sufficient condition? We want to go to the question that we have to take R right hand side and we have to prove left hand side. That is sufficient condition. What is left hand side? We have to take A alpha plus B beta belongs to W for all alpha comma beta belongs to W and A comma B belongs to F. We have to take this total condition. So I am taking the total condition that suppose A alpha plus B beta belongs to W for all A alpha comma beta belongs to W and A comma B belongs to F. You have taken it right side. We want to prove We have taken this right side. Kindly follow the cursor. Sufficient for the sufficient condition. We have taken right side. We have to prove left side. So we want to prove left side is W subspace of P. We want to prove W subspace of P. We have to use this condition only. W subspace of V. What is the definition of W subspace of V? W must be itself a vector space. Then only we say the W subspace of V. So now we prove that. For that we prove that WF is itself is a vector space. Okay, right. W vector space. To prove W is a vector space, first we prove W plus is abelian group. W plus is abelian group. That means closure law, associative law, identity law, inverse law, abelian law. We have to prove these 5 conditions, 5 laws in W with respect to the operation plus. Now I am proving the closure law. What is closure law? By using this definition only, this supposition only. You can observe this red condition, that means red color supposition always, and you have to follow this one only to prove any one. I am taking that let A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1 in F, and alpha comma beta belongs to W. From our supposition, we fulfill A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1 here. Then what happens? A is equal to 1 means 1 alpha plus B is equal to 1 means 1 beta belongs to W. Here we written 1 into alpha plus 1 beta belongs to W. From this condition only, in this condition, we applied A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1. Then 1 into alpha, alpha. 1 into beta, beta. Alpha plus beta belongs to W. We have taken alpha comma beta belongs to W. Alpha plus beta belongs to W is shown. That means closure law exists in W. Now, not I am going to the associative law. I am going to the next law, that is identity law, by skipping the associative law. Associative law will be discussed later. Now I am proving the identity law, that is, for I am taking A is equal to 0. 0 is a scalar in F, and B is equal to 0 in F in the supposition, and alpha comma beta belongs to W. Now I am substituting A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0 in this supposition. If A is equal to 0, 0 into alpha plus B is equal to 0, 0 into beta belongs to W. Here written like that. 0 into alpha plus 0 into beta belongs to W. 0 into alpha, 0 bar. Because scalar into vector is a vector. That means 0 into alpha is 0. Because this is a vector, that means 0 bar is written like that. Plus 0 into beta. Scalar into vector is vector. That is 0 into beta is 0 bar. Belongs to W. 0 bar plus 0 bar. That is 0 bar. Belongs to W. That means additive identity 0 bar is exist in W. That means identity exists in W. Next, we are going to the inverse law. Total 3 pages theorem. For alpha belongs to W, beta belongs to W. I am taking that let A is equal to -1, B is equal to 0 in this condition, in our supposition. If we substitute A is equal to -1, B is equal to 0 in our condition, in our supposition, -1 into alpha plus 0 into beta belongs to W. -1 into alpha minus alpha. 0 into beta, 0 bar belongs to W. Minus alpha plus 0 bar is the identity. That means minus alpha comes out. Minus alpha belongs to W. I have taken my alpha belongs to W here. Minus alpha is also in W. That means the additive inverse of alpha is minus alpha is in W. That means inverse exists in W. Now we are proving, we have to prove W plus is abelian group. For that one we have to prove 5 laws: closure, associative, identity, inverse, and abelian. We proven closure, identity third one, and the fourth one inverse. There are second one and fifth one who are not proven. These two I am proving in a single time. That is fourth one, and sorry, this is actually second one, but it is noted as continuous serial number fourth and fifth, associative and abelian laws. For these two laws, we have to take maximum of 3 vectors. For alpha comma beta comma gamma belongs to W, and any 2 scalars A comma B in F. Because alpha comma beta gamma are in W, but W is in V. That means all the elements in W are in V because W is subset of V. W is contained in V means all the elements of W are in V. Alpha, beta are in W. So all alpha, beta, all gamma are in V also. And A comma B belongs to F, same written in the next step also. Are you understanding that? W is contained in V means all the elements are in W are in V. Here, what are the elements in W? Alpha, beta, gamma. So all the alpha, beta, gamma are in V. Right. V is a vector space. Vector space means all these conditions were already over. That means alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to alpha plus beta plus gamma. Associative law exists. And also alpha plus beta is equal to beta plus alpha. Abelian also exists. For what elements? For which elements? Alpha, beta, gamma in W. For W elements alpha, beta, gamma, the associative and abelian laws satisfying. That means associative and abelian laws exist in W. That means W satisfying all the 5 laws. That means W plus is abelian group with respect to vector addition and multiplication. Okay, right? The first bit was over. What is the second bit? Existence of scalar multiplication. This is page 4 of this theorem. We have to take one scalar and one vector. In our supposition, I am taking that let A is equal to 1, B is equal to 0. I am substituting A is equal to 1, B is equal to 0 in our supposition. Then what happens? A is equal to 1, B is equal to 0. Then what happens? Sorry, a single mistake. Students, now we are talking about the existence of scalar multiplication, the second bit. For alpha comma beta belongs to W, I am taking let A is equal to A only, not A is equal to 1. A is equal to A and B is equal to 0. I am substituting A with A and B with 0 in our supposition. That means A alpha plus 0 beta belongs to W. 0 beta means 0 bar. A alpha as it is, 0 into beta, 0 bar belongs to W. A alpha plus 0 bar is A alpha belongs to W. One scalar A will be taken and alpha is a vector. A alpha is in W. That means scalar multiplication exists in W. Now I am going to discuss the 3 to 6 bits. What are they? For alpha comma beta belongs to W and A comma B comma 1 belongs to F. Alpha comma beta are in W, but W is contained in V. Means all the elements are in W are in V. Is it right? Similarly, alpha beta are in W, so that's why alpha beta are in V. But V is vector space. Vector space means all the conditions A into alpha plus beta is equal to alpha plus A beta, A plus B into alpha is equal to alpha plus B alpha, A into B alpha is equal to AB into alpha, 1 into alpha is equal to alpha. All these 4 conditions were satisfying in V. But we have taken the elements in W. For these W element, alpha beta elements in W, these 4 conditions are also satisfying. That's why we say that the total 6 conditions are satisfying. That means WF is a vector space. W is a vector space over the field F. They simply say that W of F is a vector space. Okay, students. Today we discussed about the definitions and also theorem was over. This is an important theorem, 4 pages theorem. So in my typing on this screen only, that means it is taking 4 pages, but if you write on notes, it will take only 1 or 2 pages, 1.5 page. So students, don't bother about the length of the theorem, just try to understand the concept. If you understand the concept, the theorem proof will be very easy. So the students, all of you, I will post this class in our WhatsApp group. That means in the PDF format. So all of you want to write the notes from from following that PDF format, and I will check in the next class that's your notes. Are you completed your notes or not? I will check first, and after that only I will continue the second class. Okay, students, all the best. Thank you.